And we're back for another episode. In this episode I'm going to be hitting the maximum rank with the Sahagin. So I've finally hit the maximum reputation you can get with the Sahagin and the Kobolds. As you can see, 510 out of 510 after doing the dailies every day. So I'm now back at Nov. This new quest has appeared, which is called Like Clutch Father, Like Son. So it says Nov is clearly agitated about a recent development concerning the Coral Tridents. So our efforts to achieve peace may have been in vain, Mithrie. By undermining Zog's leadership at that farce of a parley, I'm afraid I have stripped away what little restraint he had left. The Coral Tridents have attacked yet another ship, and this time they have taken a prisoner. While the raid itself is sufficient cause for concern, the fools have abducted a high-ranking Laminzan official. Now the situation is political. If the threat posed by the Lord of the Lord Leviathan weren't enough, then this incident will surely put pressure on the Shorewalker elders to escalate their engagement to full-scale war. Mithrie, I beg you must speak with a Maelstrom commander. It is vital that we learn what plans have been set in motion, and if there is aught we can do to contain the damage caused by Zug's insanity. The nearest official of rank will be in Camp Skull Valley. You are a mighty hero. Perhaps your words will sway the Maelstrom from a path they doubtless do not wish to tread. Okay, so let's now go to where we need to go, so just out here. So once we finish the quest, then I'll be able to look at what the rank for rewards are that I can buy from the vendor, which will include a mount and possibly a wind-up pet as well. So I'll see what they are, and I thankfully have enough spare cash that I can just buy it. I'm not worried about the money right now. And yeah, so once this is done, I'll do the Kobolds, and basically all I'm waiting for these days is just waiting for more details about the upcoming patches. So there will be a patch 2.28 and then patch 2.3, and we're waiting for the live letter in just over a week and a bit to find out more about what's coming up in the game. So here is Falk Breeder. So I think it's a she. Yeah, she says, I have no task for you at present, adventurer. A recent crisis is demanding our full attention, and it is no simple matter of ousting a nest of belligerent dodos. The Scarlet Sea Devil, an infamous fishback pirate we had long thought perished, has had the temerity to lead an assault on a Laminzan warship. In addition to the heavy casualties they inflicted on the crew, the Sahagin reportedly took prisoner our Councillor of Coin. Councillor Trustin is one of the Admiral's most trusted advisors and an essential figure in the day-to-day running of the phallocracy. His abduction is a blatant act of hostility to which the Maelstrom must give answer. We go to war. Have we considered an alternative course of action? There is only one response to this kind of attack. Admiral Blow His Whim has already instructed our troops to make ready for a full-scale retaliation. That's a funny name. The warships of the Armada are assembled and await, but the order is set to sail. Those savages won't know what hit them. The charts will need to be redrawn after our cannons are done bombarding their shore. Then we'll send in the ground levy, that's us, to mop up any fishbacks that survive the cannons. Save your breath, adventurer. The fishbacks forfeited any right to negotiation when they laid their slimy talons on a navy vessel. Brute force is the only language they understand. Okay, so we're now going to go back and speak to Nov at Nov's nursery. Now, I have received some feedback to my YouTube videos that perhaps I am not the best at reciting or reading out the quest text. You know, I try my best, and I try to really keep it as entertaining as possible, but sometimes the way the text is written, the way the people of Eorzea speak, can be so difficult to read for me that I just struggle my way through it. And before, I used to say the word a lot I used to be like, this, that. But I'm trying my best to avoid that. So I'm trying to take my time in order to avoid stuttering so much. So it's just a matter of time. Eventually I will be better. I will try and improve the quality of my reading. But I do like this form of... I like reading out the quest text basically because it gives me a chance to absorb the story as well, not just the people watching. So anyway, here's Nob. So Nob says, so the Finless ones will not be deterred from their righteous course. No matter who emerges a victor in the coming conflict, slaughter will be answered with slaughter, and our spawning grounds will give birth to naught but death. I can see but one way to steer us clear of this abyss, Mithrie. You and I rescue the Shorewalker official ourselves. Before we can attempt to undo this madness, however, we must first discover where the Councillor is being held. An ambitious scheme such as this would have required extensive planning, and Zug likely provided his Serpent Reaver lackeys with some manner of written instruction. A search of the Serpent's tongue may provide us with the information we need. Quickly now, Mithrie, time is of the essence. Okay, so now we're going to go and search for any written instructions. So we have to go here, right deep into the spawning grounds, and see if we can find any written instructions about where they've kidnapped the official. And I do wonder what beast tribes are going to add next to the game. I do wonder if they're going to add the Ixali, because I think that's one of the only ones I can think of off the top of my head that hasn't been done already. Because we've already done the Amalja and the Sylphs, we've got the Sahagin and Kobolds done as well. And other than the Ixali, I'm not 100% sure what other beast tribes there are. Okay, here we go. So it's a ale-stained parchment. Okay, so now we have to return back to Nob's nursery again. Just in case you're wondering what bow I've got the weathered Rosenbogen, which I covered in the previous video. I really like it, it looks really awesome and it's quite powerful as well. And I'm hoping soon to upgrade it to the full Rosenbogen by getting Sands of Time from turn 8 onwards. So for these sort of quests, in case you wonder why we have to travel from back and forth so much, it is for the story, it's not for what we're doing. I'm sure later on in the quest we will be, attacking lots of monsters, but this is not, this is an RPG, so there is a lot of story involved. It's not just about, attack everything that moves. Here is Nov again. So Nov says, your search, Mithrie, was it successful? So we're going to hand over the ale-stained parchment, which says, though somewhat discoloured and smelling suspiciously like ale, this document nevertheless clearly illustrates the steps of a carefully planned naval assault. So, yes, the parchment is solved. Sorry, the parchment is soiled, but I can still make out the words. They plan to keep the council a prisoner aboard the Lost Duchess, one of the Reaver's own ships. I do not know if these were Zug's final instructions, but we have no time to assume otherwise. Ride an Elbist out there to where the pirate vessel is said to have dropped anchor and take the crew by surprise. Though I do not swim quite so swiftly as one of past sea beasts, trust that I will not be far behind. Yeah, as in he'll probably show up just as you're defeating the last mob. So the Clutch Father bid me ready my swiftest Elbist. Be sure to hold on tightly, Shorewalker. Okay, Elbist, yep. So, release me, you fiends. Do you know who I am? Silence, Shorewalker. Try to escape and I'll slice gills into your neck. Maybe then you'll be able to breathe underwater. You think me coyed by simple threats? We Laminsans will not be intimidated by your base savagery. You try my patience, finless one. Continue your squawking and I'll drop you over the rail. So you, but how? So, aha, my rescuers have arrived at last. Who are you? You're not a Maelstrom soldier. What in the Navigator's name is going on here? Mithrie. I will defend the Chancellor while you liberate the key to his shackles. One of those Coral Triton zealots must carry it. Okay, so now we're going to look for these until we find the key. We summon the Superior. So, why has the Sahagin come to my aid? Am I to trade one captor to another? Let's use the key. So, my thanks. Those manacles were beginning to chafe. Now, I can see that you are some manner of sellsword, but I'm not quite sure what to make of this, scaled gentleman. A friend of yours? We are not free of this yet. Stay close to me, lest you be tossed overboard. So, it seems that the mantle of the Scarlet Sea Devil will not sit firmly upon my shoulders until I have sent you to the depths. Do you realise what is at stake here? Your reckless ambition endangers the fate of our entire tribe. The Shorewalkers ready their armada even as we speak. Does the thought of war with finless ones now frighten you so? Let them come. My antics are as a spawning mischief compared to the mayhem you once committed. Ready your spear, old one. Let us see if the years have stolen your skill as well as your spine. Well, that was easy. The wound is not fatal, though it might leave a nasty scar. I do not ask for your pity. Finish it now, kill me. Show me a parent who can kill his own child. Sahagin blood ties run deeper than the most abyssal sea trench. You beg for the impossible. I will not slay my own son. I rejected you as my clutch father. Why did you throw away all that you had become? Why did you not seek vengeance on the shorewalkers who wronged us? You know the answers to those questions. Surely you have not forgotten what befell your spawn brothers. At my side you stood, the only surviving hatchling, and shed a river of tears for your slain clutchmates. Yes, I wept for them and made them a promise. I would avenge their deaths with the blood of 1,000 shorewalkers. I would grow into a warrior both mighty and terrible to behold, the Scarlet Sea Devil reborn. I would do what you would not. You cannot protect that which you love with a name, no matter how fearful. It took the greatest tragedy of my life to open my eyes to that truth. Zug, I would spare you that pain again. I would have you be the future our people need. I only want what is best for all my sons. Clutch father, he says. Weigh anchor and take the helm. We make for the nearest shorewalker port. Prepare a boat to take our guest ashore. Okay, so let's now talk to the councillor. So Mithrie, was it? My thanks again. Were it not for you and your Sahagin acquaintance, I would still be rubbing my wrists raw trying to escape those infernal shackles. 'Twould seem I have been laboured under a misconception. I was convinced that all Sahagin, all beastmen in fact, were naught but bloodthirsty murdering savages, with not the slightest concept of peace or compromise. But after meeting Nov, did you call him? Intriguing fellow. Yes, well, after witnessing his exchange with his son, I see now that our fishback enemies are far more complicated than our bedtime tales of horror would lead us to believe. I have 3 younglings of my own, you see, and I am quite eager to hurry home and reassure them that their father is very much alive and well. Before I do so, however, I shall contact the Admiral and convince her to rescind the order to attack. It will not be an easy task, but as the man who holds the nation's purse strings, my words carry a certain weight. Oh, and here. Gulls are often a welcome sight on ships, as their presence mean land and home is close by. Lenosan soldiers began gathering the feathers dropped on deck and fashioning them into trinkets to give to their children as a symbol of hearth and happiness. I would be grateful if you could see that feather into your Sahagin friend's hands. Beastman or no, I have seen that any father wishes the same things for his offspring. Perhaps in time we shall find more common ground between our peoples. I only hope that it will not require the threat of imminent war to bring such future revelations to light. So, once again back to Nov, and then I think that'll be it for the Sahagin Beast Tribe. Now, one thing that's good about doing the Beast Tribe quest every day is that it takes 5-10 minutes, it really doesn't take long. you make some decent money, you get ventures for your retainers, and so on. And you eventually earn these rewards once you unlock the highest rank. And I mean, you do get rewards along the way, but I find they're not really worth it until you get to the maximum rank. And yeah, so that's why I just get them done, and it's also why I'm quite persistent with them, is because they really have designed them to be as quick as possible. 5-10 minutes a day is really not much to ask to do them. And I do them as quickly as possible just to make way in case they add more, because I'm sure they will. So this will be my third beast tribe to rank 4, and then I'll do the kobolds next, and then we'll see which ones they add in the future. So, almost there. And here he is. Sorry, that's the wrong one. There's Nov. So Nov says, Mithrie, I have no words to thank you. Without your raid, I do not think war with the Shorewalkers could have been avoided. Zug has disbanded the Coral Tridents and is set on travelling for a time. Among all of my offspring, he is the most like me, the most determined and stubborn. I sense that he is hesitant to return to the nursery. But return he will in time, and when he does, I hope to see him a stronger and wiser Sahagin than I ever was. Such pleasant thoughts will sustain me while I raise his unruly spawn brothers. So let's hand over the gold feather trinket. It says, a talisman symbolic of health and happiness that Leminzan sailors often fashion for their children during the return leg of lengthy sea voyages. So the councillor wished me to have this. I see, a gift from parent to child, a symbol of joy and family. So many of my offspring were slain by shorewalkers. The rage spawned by that act will never fully leave me. But it is as nothing compared to the desire I feel to protect my surviving spawnlings. I pray that this trinket can one day represent not just the bond between parent and child, but also the birth of understanding between our peoples. You have achieved more for this cause than I could have dared hope. In the days to come, I only ask that you do not forget us, Fiddler's One. Whenever thoughts of vengeance seek to consume you, remember this nursery and remember me and my spawnlings. And should you choose to visit, you will always be welcome here. You are no longer some strange shorewalker to us. You are Clutchmate. Okay, so I need to give this to the Maelstrom commander. So let's quickly return to Limsa. I set my free teleport to Limsa Leminza. I figured it's the most out of the way, and I do come here quite often, so it was good to do it. So I'm going to quickly use Aephori to the Aft Castle, because I think that's the place that's closest to the Maelstrom command. Okay, so let's see. So Razhat Ricky says, Mithrie, it seems that business with the Sahagin became rather more involved than anyone expected, eh? Maelstrom Command very much resembled the writhing chaos of our namesake. Once word of Councillor Trustin's abduction sparked the call to war. It is fortunate that our marching orders were rescinded ere we launched our attack. So obviously means before. There are none in our ranks that fear to step upon the field of battle, but any day that ends without bloodshed is a good day. And I hear that you yourself were responsible for the Councillor's timely release. I like to think that my eye for enlisting talented veterans played some small part in the ways events played out. So Mithrie, you've averted a war and rescued a high-ranking official. Not a bad result, all told. But we must remain vigilant. While we welcome the possibility of peaceful coexistence with the Sahagin, we cannot ignore the threat that the primal Leviathan yet presents. For the nonce, however, you have earned a respite from duty. On behalf of the Maelstrom, I commend you for your courageous actions and judicious diplomacy. Might you consider a bath during your well-deserved rest? I seem to detect the slightest scent of rotting crab meat. Okay, so let's complete that quest. So it says your reputation has increased. So it says you have achieved trusted reputation with Nov's Clutch. Furthermore, you now have access to a wider selection of wares from Nov's Clutch vendor. And I get the achievement License to Gill. They always like to put puns in their achievement titles. So I'm going to quickly go back and look at the rewards and see about getting the mount at least. And hopefully, at least for now, this will be the last time I need to do this run from Aleport back to the Sahagin tribe. Done this run, feels like a million times. While I do like the fact that you can have your Chocobo summoned as a minion and also ride it as you like, I do find it kind of restricting because you can only mount your Chocobo in that instance. And so you're missing out on all your other mounts because you're forced to use your Chocobo while it's summoned. And if you want to use all your other mounts, you have to dismiss your Chocobo, but then that will take you back to how it was before, where you have to keep dismissing and resummoning the mount as the pet every time you want to use it in battle. So I wonder if they'll actually change that one day, that you can mount any mount and still have your Chocobo summon. Okay, so here we go. Sahagin vendor. So trusted, so let's see what's available. So there's a wind-up Sahagin. So let's buy that now, 25,000. There's an Elpst horn. Okay, I'll buy that. And let's see, Glamour Dispeller. So I can buy Glamour Dispellers. It says this obviously reduces any glamours you've done. And there's some Sahagin furniture as well, which I can buy when I eventually get a personal house. So let's quickly look at the rewards. So if I learn the pet, so it says he's got a trident and he's not afraid to use it, so let's use it now. And the Elf's horn, it said this horn of bone emits a sonorous tone that summons your cavalry elves, raised from an egg by path of Nov's Clutch. Okay, so let's now look at the minion. So let's see, wind up Sahagin, here it is. Let's see, wind up Sahagin. Just wanted to see if he did anything with Becca, and he doesn't, so he looks pretty cool. And now let's look at the mount. So here we go, Cavalry Alps. So there you go. What do you think? Does he look nice? I don't think so. I think it looks disgusting, but you know, I earned it, so I might as well have it. So anyway, that's it for this episode, and that's the Sahagin Beast Tribe done. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and goodbye from Mithrie.